Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Championship predictions video where myself and Ollie battle it out to see who is better at predicting scores. See who's Mystic Meg. For a lot of people out there won't have a clue what I'm talking about, but I'm going to bring Ollie in because Ollie is so good. Ollie is more than Mystic Meg, aren't you, Ollie?
I like to think I'm Paul the Octopus, but I have not quite shown the best of myself. So maybe we're going a little bit early on the praise.
Yeah, definitely so. It was a little bit tongue-in-cheek because I'm going to bring up on screen right now the results from week 2. Now, mate, there's a lot of red for both of us. But looking at that, that's three points each. And then I got 2 cheeky points and you got 1 cheeky point. I must kind of just stress the reds are we got absolutely nothing right. The yellows are we got the result right. The greens are the right score. As you can see on the right hand side, actual score. So yeah, it wasn't the best, but Ollie, let us know what the viewers got because we need to give a shout out. There was loads and loads of comments last week, weren't there?
There were loads of comments last week. I had a lot of fun actually on Tuesday going through them all. Obviously, for the competitor in me, this is not going to sound great as we go through this. So we covered it off there. Nick, you got 5 points. I got 4. Well, the viewers did a little bit better than that. So top of the table, I don't think it is John Egan, but if it is John Egan, he's the man knows ball.
Yes.
So johnegan.com, he came in, he got 9 points. But he's sharing the lead because there was a second. There was Alems, Alemz, who also got 9 points. Now, that's not great reading for us, given that we only got 9 between us.
Yeah, that's what it means. Viewers have wildly taken the lead. It was, I believe it was 6-all between me and the viewers. They're now 4 in front. The thing is, mate, there's so many viewers compared to us. So we're going to get beaten. I just can't wait to see the score at the end of the season. It's going to be like 150 to like 30 or something like that.
Well, yeah, I think I might be nearer the 30. But there is good news to come from me checking the viewer scores because there is one man that I need to shout out. That man's name is Marco Lecouve. And this is important because last week, every single viewer that took part at least equaled me, if not beat me. But this week, I beat Marco. So thank you very much for joining us. I mean, I'm not just rock bottom on my own. I will keep an eye on those bottom scorers and just make sure that I'm not last.
Top man. But you've still not beaten me yet. So, yeah. There's
all right.
Yeah.
Early season, Nick. It's early season.
There's always a 3rd week and a 4th week and a 5th week. So let's get straight on into it, mate. The first game is Watford versus Burnley, which is quite an exciting game. We all know how good both sides are. Watford are getting all the TV time, though, at the moment, aren't they? And, yeah, they are fantastic to watch. They probably scored the goal of the week. It was late. It wasn't really a goal of the weekend. That's why I said week. Yeah. What a fantastic finish by Sarr from the halfway line. You can't really get much better than a David Beckham-esque strike, can you?
No, you can't. I watched it, and one of the moments I was like, Fran, you're on Facebook, just watch this goal. And she didn't care. But either way, it was a great goal. The only thing that takes the tiniest bit of shine off it is that it bounces too early. If you could have kicked it that much further and it bounced in the back of the net, that would have been amazing. But yeah, what a goal. Definitely goal of the weekend for me. I was disappointed, though, in Watford overall. Thought they were pretty poor at West Brom. Don't think it was their best performance. But with that front three, they're always going to score goals, always going to create chances, and obviously missed a pen later on.
Exactly that, man.
Bizarre.
Yeah, crazy. And I would have got an extra 3 points if they'd have scored that penalty. So, or an extra 2 points, should we say. Let's go into the scorelines, pal, because I've gone for a 2-1 Watford win. You've gone for a 3-1.
Yeah, well, I've been looking into the stats. I've done everything wrong so far, so I'm ripping it up, try something new this week. Burnley are unbeaten, in 5 against Watford. Burnley have obviously been the better of the two teams, but for me, I was really disappointed in Burnley, their result against Luton. They've shown that maybe they're not going to be as new Burnley as we thought they were. And I just give that front three the edge. Whenever I'm 50-50, I'm always going to lean towards Sarr, Dennis and Pedro. 3-1 Watford.
Yeah, fantastic. Let's move on to the next one because I do think Watford are going to be very exciting. And Burnley, they showed a good first half against Huddersfield, but we all know now that Huddersfield are going to be terrible, and they have been terrible. So
I've had one good prediction so far, and I told you that Huddersfield were going to be crap week 1.
Yeah, well done, mate. Well done. We'll have to watch that back just to make sure you've not just had us on there. Next one is Cardiff versus Birmingham City, mate.
Yeah, well, last season, these two drew both games against each other. I'm predicting more of the same, to be honest. Pretty poor result for Cardiff last week. Birmingham beat Huddersfield, so does that count? We'll find out as the season goes on, I suppose. But I see this one being dull, boring, 0-0.
0-0. Wowzers. There we go. It's on screen right now. Do you know what I decided to go for, mate? So all the draws, I think, that I predicted last week or something like that, they ended up being home wins. So I thought this was going to be a draw. So I went for a home win instead. I'm going for that. These are two teams that everybody wrote off at the start of the season, and they've not had a bad start to the season.
No, I mean, they've both picked up a win, haven't they? I think Cardiff won first week, Birmingham won second week. Got as many points as us. Yeah,
there you go. And James, 1-0 Cardiff, a 1-1 from JohnEgan.com. So you know what that means. It's going to finish 1-1, isn't it?
Yeah, John Egan's on, at least on my result. So I'm feeling positive on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we've got Blackpool versus Swansea. Now, this is one of these games that each week we say, are we really bothered? You knew what I was going to say that. I saw your face. You knew exactly what I was going to say. But to be honest, neither of them have got out of the blocks too quickly. Both have only scored 1 goal. So struggling in front of goal. Swansea, I'm going to throw some stats at you here. Swansea, first game of the season against Rotherham, 74%, no win. Then against Blackburn, who smashed them 3-0, 71% possession. And do you know what it reminds me of? It's reminded me of Sheffield United under Jokanovic, where it's a lot of football kind of in front of the opposition, a lot of slow passing, not enough quick moving in the final third. It's boring. It's slow. Maybe they've just not got the right players in as of right now. We didn't at the start of that season. We needed Morgan Gibbs-White and Iliman Njai to come in to kind of offer us that little spark. Maybe that's what Swansea need. There's still time. But yeah, for me, I've gone 0-0. Boring match.
Yeah, I think, well, you know, like you say, it's a bit similar to Slav Ball. The other thing that they've got that's very similar to Slav Ball is that they concede very little XG and concede every shot that goes against them. Last week, I did some stats myself. Last week, I think they conceded 3 goals from 0.4 XG. Like, that just reminds me so much of us, because what that is, it's teams running at you, running through you, and then you just can't stop them. I think that Blackpool win this. I think that Josh Bowler's direct running is going to make the difference. I think being at home is going to make the difference. And I'm really starting to sour on Swansea. Start of the season, I thought they'd be upper mid-table, but
a lot were saying that. A lot were saying that. And it's still good possession football, but it's not good if you're not winning the games.
You've got to put it in back at net.
You've got to put it in back at net. Beastly or late 2022. You've got to put it in back at net.
Get one of them Gandhi quotes up.
Absolutely. That's what I'm kind of going for then. I think you saw that telepathically. You saw that. Huddersfield versus Stoke City, mate. Do you want to take the floor?
Yeah, I think we've all said Huddersfield have just been the shockers of the start of the season. Like I'm going to claim again, and you can go and check it. First game of the season, first game, I said Huddersfield are going to be rubbish. I think they're in big trouble relegation-wise this season. Stoke have got a great win last week. I think they're going to continue getting chances. We know that Stoke have got goals in their front line, even if I've questioned their fitness. I think they'll win this one. I think it'll only be 1-0, but I think that's enough.
Ooh, and look at that. I've gone complete opposite. Again, I thought this was going to be a draw. So I've gone 1-0 Huddersfield. But I do think that the really poor start that they've had, it needs to turn at some point. And against Stoke, it will turn. They're going to get a goal off someone's backside, or it's going to hit someone on back of head and fall in the back of the net. It's Huddersfield's day. it's Huddersfield's day.
That's a big call. That's a big call.
I think you might be right there, but let's see. Let's wait and see. Next up, we've got Hull City versus Norwich City, who haven't won a game yet. Nobody would have called that before the start of the season. Hull City, they weren't brilliant in the last game, but they've had a solid start to the season, you'd say. I can't see Norwich winning this game, which is such a weird thing to say. Just the fact that they've still got some great players. But yeah, the defense is letting them down at the moment. They're getting red cards for days. It's not good right now.
No, completely agree. I also cannot see Norwich getting it from this one. I can't believe I'm saying it. I think Hull have only scored a couple of goals. I know they were in the boring game with Preston last week. But they got 2 first game, a penalty and a deflection. I just feel like Norwich are in that space where they've come down, nothing's going right. Fans are going to turn on the manager. And when that happens, all the luck goes against you. And I think it does in this game as well. And I think they're going to lose it. I'm going 2-1 Hull.
There you go. I've gone 1-1. I don't think Hull's quite got the firepower to win this game, but I'm happy with 1-1. Next up, we've got Luton Town versus Preston North End. Preston's one of your favourite teams in the league, aren't they, Ollie?
They're the most boring team in the league. They're going to continue being the most boring team in the league. Midweek, apparently, they've played quite well. I think they've stuck 4 in Carabao. Come on. Okay. This is going to be boring. Same as every other league game they've played. This one finishes 0-0, and Preston are the only team not to watch.
0-0. You're thinking that Luton aren't going to score any goals in this game against Preston?
I think whenever Preston play, I don't think there'll ever be a goal. I just think the goals are boring and I just don't care. 0-0.
0-0. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Let's pop on screen right now. Look, 0-0. Joachim's is with you. Knows. James is kind of with me. He's gone a 2-0. JohnEgan.com, 2-1. He's obviously going to finish 2-1 then. It's got to.
Goals, apparently.
Goals. Next up, Millwall versus Coventry. Now, we saw Millwall firsthand at the weekend. Me and you, mate. We are Blades, as a lot of people already know. And I was so disappointed with them. Charlie Creswell, I shouted him out in the first week. His back pass. Who was it to? Was it Steve?
Was there somebody in the crowd wearing the Millwall shirt that he'd seen? I've got no idea what you're even trying to do. But just as bad. And obviously, I've seen talk on this online, on other places, and they reckon that Jake Cooper were fouled. Now, I'm not having any of that. I'm just not having it. I don't think he was fouled. I think they've both gone to jump, and he's just mistimed it, got it all wrong, and it's run through. I think both centre-halves had a shocker. Don't think they look like creating very much.
Nope.
I was really, really disappointed in him.
Yeah.
There is a however, though, because the however on this is that Coventry couldn't even get a pitch together to play first game of the season. I mean, come on.
It's shocking. But it is because of the Commonwealth Games playing rugby on it. But this shouldn't have even happened in the first place. They should have played all the first few games away from home. At the end of the day, they're doing their bit for the Commonwealth Games. But yeah, if they want to win some games this season, this could impact their season because Coventry are a very, very good team. And if Coventry don't get their act together early on, which I think they will, but if this pitch situation carries on like it is, they're going to have loads of games backed up. And we know that that's not a good thing to do. But there we go. I've popped them straight on screen. You've gone for a Millwall 1-0 win. I've gone for a Coventry 2-1 win, just based on the fact that Millwall were absolutely terrible at Bramall Lane.
I just think at home, Millwall are a different side. I don't think they're going to put in 2 stinkers like they did at Bramall Lane. I think they will be riled up. I think they'll be keen to prove a point. And I'm probably punishing Coventry because they got on my nerves by not putting the game on.
Yeah, it's a good point. And the team that they didn't put the game on against was Rotherham. And Rotherham are at home against Reading. Now, Ollie, I already know that you think that Reading are going to score 17 goals against Rotherham in this game.
Well, you would think that. Now, I have been very vocal in my anti-Rotherham stances so far. I've been certain that they're going down and that they're not going to get anywhere. They also have an absolutely atrocious record against Reading, not beat them in 8, but it's always quite a low-scoring game. You're talking 1 goal either way. There's been a couple of smash-ins, but they were ages ago. But I think that's going to turn. I think at home, I think against one of the weaker teams in the division, which is how I see Reading. I think this is the kind of game Rotherham are going to be really, really up for. I think they're going to push them. I think they're going to do what Rotherham do. I don't think they're going to win many this year, but I do think they're going to win this.
Wow, 1-0. 1-0. You've gone for a Rotherham win. This might be the only one of the season, so let's just enjoy it.
Predicting many.
But also, I've gone for a Rotherham win as well. 2-1, slightly different, but yeah, I think that Rotherham's got this one in the bag. I just think they're going to be well up for it, and I hope they get it. I really
well,
do.
there's sounds as well that they might be getting a striker in, which I think could make a big difference for them. I think talking about Ashley Fletcher from Watford, I believe, at the minute. I'm not sold that he's the answer, that he's that good, but I think having his presence, I think he's better than Connor Washington or the others that they've got. So I think he could make a difference in games like this. I don't think he makes enough of a difference for it to matter over the season.
No, I'm not a fan of him, to be perfectly honest, but he's a big lad, and I think he'll do something for him. Yeah. Whatever that is, he'll do something for him. Sunderland up next against QPR, and Sunderland have been the surprise package. I called this from day one. Hal said to me when we were doing the prediction video, they've got absolutely no chance. And who's right? Yeah, boy's right.
They were absolutely awful last night, though.
Doesn't matter.
They made a lot of changes. They were terrible.
I watched 70 minutes of that game, and they stink of a team that have just gone up, don't have strength in depth, and they thought, let's play a second string side, and they got hammered by Sheffield Wednesday in the league below. But who won the match that mattered? Sunderland. And Sunderland won at the weekend as well. They beat Bristol City 3-2. A fantastic win for them. It's never easy going to Bristol City. I don't know what it is. They've just got some sort of hoodoo over Sheffield United, I feel. And I feel like they have over other teams. I don't know what it is about Bristol City, but they got the win. That's fantastic. I like Sunderland. I want Sunderland to do well. I really do. But yeah, let's see what happens in this game. What have you gone for, Ollie?
Yeah, well, I mean, QPR are obviously also really impressive last week. They raced into a 3-goal lead against Middlesbrough. Yeah. Eventually they have let them back into the game. It's only been 3-2. I'm going to say on the grapevine, but just Twitter, that Willock might be injured for this one, which I think is a massive loss. He scored a fantastic goal last week.
That should have been goal of the week, shouldn't it, really? That should have been goal of the week.
Any normal week, that's goal of the week. And then you see a little bit of a madness from Ismail Assar. But yeah, I think that does affect QPR. Still think they're going to create. I still think Sunderland games are going to be full of goals. But I do think Sunderland are going to win this one. I think they're going to nick it. And both games were 3-2 last week. I think it's going to be 3-2 this week.
There you go. I've gone for a 2-1. Similar scoreline again, but Ollie's just gone for a few more goals. Now, Wigan versus Bristol City. Take the floor, mate.
It's hard, this one, because Wigan I've still not got a good sense of. I can't... They've got a fantastic point at Norwich. First game of the season, they've had the boring game with Preston that everyone's going to have. I can't get my hands on how Wigan are going to be, whether or not they're going to be any good. And so I think that the safe option when they're at home is to back them just not to lose. Bristol City are always good for a goal if Andy Vyman is playing. I think last year he's got 20+. He's got 2 in 2 already this year. I think he is a real difference maker for them. So I think this is probably a score draw, 1-1 for me.
There you go. And I've gone for a Wigan win. I do feel like Wigan are going to pull this one out of the bag. I like them at home. And I'm fancying them for this game. So let's move on, because obviously you're saying about Bristol City scoring all these goals, and I've banked on them to not score any in that game. So I don't want to be wrong. So let's move on quickly and go to the biggest game of the weekend. And actually, it's not just because we're Sheffield United fans. This is a huge, huge game.
I think this is big for Middlesbrough. If I'm being honest, they've had a rocky start. I think
that's fighting talk. That.
Well, it is. I think they've had a really rocky start, though. I think they're finally starting to get together the team that they actually want to be putting together. I think Wilder, after getting embarrassed at Bramall Lane last season, is really going to want to go for this. United have an absolutely terrible record at the Riverside. My dad has been saying to me for a week now, since I last saw him last Thursday, he just says, United haven't won at Middlesbrough since 1997. And I looked into it, and we haven't. In that time, we've got 1 point. We've scored 1 goal. And it's really not a happy hunting ground for us. I think those two things combined I mean, it's not going to be a great journey to Middlesbrough and back for me, to be honest. I should have read my own prediction before I booked my ticket. But I don't think this goes our way. Don't think it does.
3-1. 3-1 you've gone for. Now, the reason why I've landed on 1-1 is because I just wrote down every possible score and just went like that. Because there's no way you can call this. Like, I had Middlesbrough winning. Then I thought, oh, we've got some very, very exciting attacking players that when we bring them on, if Kadra's not playing or if James McAtee's not playing, they will be brought on to change the game. I think our attack is so strong now that I don't see us not scoring in this game. But I can't say for certain that Middlesbrough are going to score. So I've gone 4-1-all, splintery bottom. I've got, I'll be happy with a 1-1 though.
Yeah,
I actually will.
I'd be happy with 1-1. I'd be very, very happy to get 0 points for my prediction on this one. Never wanted to be wrong more in my life.
No. Let's get some of the comments as well. 3-1, and that's from a Reading fan. 3-1 Blades. Respect to Wilder. 2-0 Blades. 1-1. 2-1 Blades. And a lot of these aren't actually Sheffield United fans. That one is. JohnEgan.com is.
And John Egan knows what he's talking about.
Of course he does, mate. Of course he does. Neck on the line for 1-0, James is saying. There's a lot of positive comments here. 1-1. I don't think we've seen a Boro victory then. So that means that obviously Boro are going to win this game. Anyway, let's move on. Blackburn versus West Brom. Now, I did say that Sunderland with a surprise package. I take that back. Blackburn, geez Louise, that is a good start to the season if I've seen one.
Yeah, new manager who I wasn't sold on. They have started like a train. That performance and result last week at Swansea, I think, really will send a message to a lot of teams. I think obviously it shows that they're clinical. Maybe they're not missing the attacking players that I thought they were going to be missing. And yeah, I've been really impressed with them. But to be honest, I've been really impressed with West Brom. I found apart from the first half against Boro, I thought they played well in that game. I thought they were brilliant against Watford on Monday night. The issue being, of course, the same problems they had last season is they can't put the ball in the net. It does feel as though West Brom are struggling. You know, I saw somebody call them XG Albion the other day because whatever happens, it's just not going it back at net. And so I actually think that Blackburn's good run will continue here. I've been really impressed with West Brom. I think they might have the better of the game, but I don't think they're going to win it. I just don't think that looks with them. I don't think they've got a finisher. 2-0 for Blackburn.
I've gone for a 2-2, mate. I think that West Brom, I don't think they've had the rub of the green, and I think they will get better. And I think they've still got some very, very exciting players. And I don't think they're going to just get battered in this game. I think it's going to be an exciting game, lots of fast-flowing attacking football, and we've got to go for big scorelines every now and then.
Oh yeah, we need goals.
We need goals. Goals. I would much rather see a 5-4 victory than a 1-0 victory. Always.
Oh, 100%. And I would much rather watch any team other than Preston. And that's because I like goals.
There we go. And obviously Preston aren't going to score a goal all season, are they?
Never.
Never, ever. Anyway, I think we are done, mate. So that's it for game week 3. Put your scores in the comments. Ollie will be going through them all. We will be putting them on the scoreboard. Whoever finishes top will be added to the viewers. They're going to be far and away from us, mate. They really are. But it's just a bit of fun. It's just a bit of fun. Leave your comments. Leave your scores in the comments. Ollie will go through them, and then we'll give some shout outs to those that are best at it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Yeah, they're gonna be. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.